All right, in this tutorial we want to finish up the Westdale W drawing by completing the dimensioning and completing the title block information. We've already done some of the dimensioning, but it's not really to what I would like you to use for our class standards. What I would like you to do for our class is the dimensions. The dimensions are made up of a dimension line, the dimension text, an extension line at each end of the dimension. So here's an extension line and an extension line, and then the arrowheads. What I would like you to do is make it so that the distance between this dimension line and this object and the outermost point on the object would be 10 millimeters times whatever the scale factor is. So the scale factor for this drawing is 1, since it's a 1-to-1 scale drawing. So I want the distance between here and here to be 10. We're going to be working with the outermost points on the object. So when I dimension things, it's going to be from the outermost points, not necessarily from the object itself. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to find those locations. So I'm going to do O for offset, type in 10, and I'm going to click on the object. And if I needed another level, I could do that. I'm going to need some down here, and then I should also. I'm going to need to know where 10 away from this point is, from a vertical line going down this way. So I'm just going to temporarily draw in a line. Take it down to here. And then I don't think I need any dimensions on the other side, so I'm going to go O for offset. Distance is already set, so I'm just going to click on the object and offset it. So now, in order to move the locations of these dimensions, which we did in the last, where we created these dimensions in the last tutorial by going up to dimension and then linear, and then we selected an endpoint and an endpoint. Now once I've got it here, I can just click on the object, hit its grips, and drag that grip down to that point. Now I know that's exactly 10 away. I can do the same thing with this one. Grab it and bring it to there, and now it's exactly 10 away. I need to do a dimension down here, so I'm going to go dimension, linear, I'm going to go to endpoint. I need this other endpoint. And notice that with linear, if I pull my cursor out this way, it gives me the vertical dimension. If I bring it this way, it gives me the horizontal dimension. So that's what I want, and I click there. Notice that I put it on the wrong layer, so I'm going to click on that one, pick it up here, and select the correct layer. That should work for you. Again, I've got a glitch in my one, so I need to go and change the actual layer itself. So I'm just actually going to delete mine. And I will change the layer to dimension, and I'm going to click on, so I'm going to go to dimension, linear, I'm going to go to endpoint, endpoint, and then I can go ahead and place it by selecting that endpoint, so I can do that in one shot if I know where 10 millimeters away is. Then I need another one that goes 20, that says 20 from here to here. I could just go ahead and do another linear one, or if I had a series of dimensions, so I've got 2 more to do, I could instead use dimension continue. Continue continues on from the last one. And the nice thing about it is it's also going to line up those dimensions. I don't have to keep identifying where they go. So if I was needing to do more dimensions, I could just keep doing continue. So I can save you some time when you've got a whole bunch in a line like that. So now we've got those dimensions all done. Now notice that for the dimensions, it puts a gap between the extension line and the actual object. And that's important because otherwise when you print this drawing and it's in black and white, it would be difficult for somebody to tell if this connected to here. It would be difficult to tell if that was part of the object or part of the extension. So you need to have this gap in here, and Autocad puts that in there for you. However, here my dimension is way back here because originally I had a line that came out to here and that's where I dimensioned to. So I want to make this go all the way into here. So I just click on the extension line, grab the grip, and bring it to the end point of this line. Make sure you get the end of the line and not the end of the extension. And there we go. And it's also possible to sometimes select a point that will not give us a gap in there. If I had instead clicked on this one and, oops, I got the wrong dimension there, I'm going to click on this one. If I select this point, it would give me the exact same dimension. It's still 60 over here, Notice I don't have a gap. So then I need to click on it and bring this grip back to this point, and then now I get the gap in there. Okay. So now I've got my dimensions done. I need one more dimension up in here, which would be 30. However, I can't use linear. If I try to use linear, I'll go to this one this time, linear. If I go to here and go across, I'm only ever going to get a horizontal or a vertical dimension. So I needed to go perpendicular across this way. So instead, I'm going to go to dimension, and I want to use aligned. All right, so then I can go somewhere along here. I'm just going to use the midpoint here. This one, it's important. I want to make sure that I'm going perpendicular to this line. And now I can just place this in here. Doesn't matter exactly where I place it. And now that gives me the exact distance, 30, between these two lines. And I need to do a dimension between this line and this line for the angle. So again, I can go up to dimension, angular. Click on one line, click on another line, and if I put my cursor over here, I get that angle. If I put it over here, I get the angle that I'm looking for. I can get any of the 4 quadrants. So this is the one I want to put in, so I just click and place it. Doesn't matter exactly where it goes as long as it looks good. It wouldn't have been good to bring it out to here and have this line, this extension line cutting through it, and it wouldn't be good to have it so close that it's hard to read. Okay? So this one might be a little bit too far out. I could drag this in a little bit more, okay, and bring my text back down to the middle. Okay, and now that looks good. So now the last thing I need to do as far as dimensioning is to get rid of these lines that are underneath. Otherwise, when it prints out, that's going to look poor. So I'm going to do the erase command, E for erase, and I'm going to use a window this time because that selects only things that are fully within. So if I do a window like this, none of the dimensions are fully within that window, so the only thing that's going to get selected is that line. I can do another window up here, and another window that will select like that, and I get both of those lines. And then I can hit enter, and I've gotten rid of all the lines underneath. Okay, oh, I missed one here actually. So I'm going to do E for erase. I'm going to select a window in there. Okay, and now I've gotten rid of all of the lines underneath the dimensions, and I've got a complete dimension drawing. The only thing left now is to change the title block information. So you'll be able to just double click on the text. I need to go to modify, object, text, edit, and click on the text. And now I can change it to be what I want. I put caps lock on to make sure it's going to be in capitals and type in Westdale W. I'm going to leave the name the same and change the date. So today's date is, month is February 5th, 2015. So I'm going to type in 02/05/15. Hit enter. And then my scale is 1 to 1, so I'm going to leave it as that. And the drawing is drawing number 1. For drawing number, you're going to pretty much leave it at 1. It's only if drawings have to do with the same project that we would up the number. So if you were doing a house drawing, a set of house drawings, and they were all for, say, Mr. Robinson, then the floor plan might be drawing number 1, the elevation might be drawing number 2, and so on and so on. However, as you move from this drawing on to your next drawing, you don't want to keep increasing the drawing numbers because you'll just end up at very, very high numbers very quickly. So we're going to keep new drawings that don't have to do with other ones. We'll start again at drawing number 1. And that's our Westdale W done. So now we could Z for zoom, E for extents. Oh, sorry, I'm still in the DD edit command, so I'm going to escape to clear my command line. And then I'm going to do Z for zoom and E for extents, and then just zoom out a little bit. Might as well show you how to plot this now. So we're going to go to File. We'll go to Plot. I'm going to say OK there, and I need to select a plotter. So if you were at home, you would select the printer. If you were going to print a hard copy here at school, you would select one of the printers that we've got for the school. However, if you're just going to set it to make a PDF, then you can select, yours will be Adobe PDF. Mine is Nitro PDF, they're both the same thing. So you'll look for Adobe PDF. Paper size, we click on here and we set the letter. Now just important, it's best to set the printer first before doing anything else, because if you change the printer, it can change all the other ones without you realizing that it's done so. So set your printer first, then your paper size. What to plot? We're going to plot extents this time, because we want to plot everything that we've drawn. Okay? If I wanted to plot only a portion, I could go to Window and do a window around the area that I want to plot. Okay, and that will work, but I'm going to change it back to extents for now. Then then the plot scale, we don't ever want to plot, or we pretty much will never plot fit to paper, because that will mean it's not to scale. What it will do is it will plot it as big as it possibly can to fit on the piece of paper, but it won't be to a specific scale. So I don't want to put a check mark there. I want to set my units. So we're using millimeters right now, and I'm going to plot 1 to 1. So I can click on here and select it out of the list if it's there. Otherwise, I could have typed 1 to 1. So this is 1 unit on the drawing equals 1 unit in real life. Up here, if this is not available, there's a little arrow. You can click on this arrow and get more things to change here. For this kind of a drawing, I would select monochrome so that everything prints at the same darkness. If you were doing something that you needed color for, you could either select none or acad.ctb. Or if you wanted it to be black and white but with different line or in grayscale, then you could select grayscale. If you needed to change any of these things, you shouldn't need to, and pretty much our drawings are usually going to be in landscape, and that's probably what it's already set to. Now you're best to say apply to layout. If you don't do that, if you were to cancel and then go back in, you'd have to set all these things again. But now it remembers those, so now we can put that there. Now before you say OK, always do a print preview. And it will show you exactly what it's going to look like on the printed page, or in this case on the PDF file. If it doesn't look right here, this is called what you see is what you get. So if it doesn't look correct here, it's not going to come out correct on the printer, so don't print it. If that's the case, right click and exit and go back and make whatever changes you need to, or cancel and make whatever changes in the drawing you need to make. However, mine is correct, so I'm going to say OK. And then I can save this file. I'm going to call it Westdale W. And we want to leave it as PDF. Okay? And then I'm just going to place it into the folder. I'll leave it in that folder for now. And say create. And now I've got a file that I could go to and double click, and it will open up, and anybody else you could email it to somebody else and they could open it without having to have AutoCAD. And the nice thing is they can't make changes to that drawing. So again, if you were going to plot it to a hard copy, then you would send it to the printer. But if you're going to just keep an electronic copy, then save it to, or go file, plot, and plot it to Adobe PDF. Okay, and that's the end of this tutorial. Make sure you save your work. So file, save. All right, that saves all those plot settings as well. And then once you're done with this drawing, you would upload it to the Dropbox. Have a good day.